Hi there, I'm Paul from Oslo, Norway, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Probably guessed it already, but I'm down by the waterfront in Oslo. I have the city hall right in front of me, and right over here is the Oslo Fjord. And today I'm gonna head across the fjord here and over to one of the islands of Oslo, which is called Hovedøya, the main island, where I also happen to have my Albin Vega sailboat. I just love coming out to the island here. Just 10 minutes with the ferry across the fjord. I come here both in the winter and the summer. The ferry runs all year around. And it's a nature reserve, so there are no cars out here. And also a lot of interesting history. So let's take a look. As you walk to the center of the island, you come to the Hovedøya Abbey, a medieval Cistercian monastery that was founded back in 1147 by monks from England. It used to look like this, but today looks like this. During its heydays, it was one of the richest institutions in Norway, owning over 400 properties in Oslo. However, political turmoil in the early 1500s led to the dissolution of the monastery, and it later ended up as a quarry for stone used in the city. But still, today it's the most complete ruin of a medieval Norwegian monastery. A bit further south are the old gates that led from the harbor and up to the monastery. In Norwegian we call them for portstuer. There was a big gate here and guards controlling both goods and people that wanted to enter. Although today it's just a pile of rocks, this is the only remaining ruin of a portstue in Norway and of a great historical value. Next to it you find an old stone quarry that provided the building material. I'm gonna head up on the highest point of the island here now and check out the view. Now, there's a lot of military presence on this island, and the cannons that you see here, they were put here in 1808. Back then, Norway was part of Denmark. We were in a union with Denmark, so we were pulled into the Napoleonic Wars. So they decided to put up these cannons to protect the water entrance to the city of Oslo. I think it's time for some lunch now, so I'm going to head down to the southern part of the island. It's been about a year now since I started making these YouTube episodes. And for those of you who don't know me, I work normally as a tour guide and a guidebook researcher for an American company called Rick Steves. But that's not been possible for the last year due to Corona, and to be honest, doesn't look so promising for 2021 either. So when the Corona started, I figured out that I should grab my camera and start showing people my part of the world. So that's basically why I'm doing this, to show you a bit of sailing, a little bit of history, culture, you know, food, like some Norwegian brown cheese, goat cheese, for example. So thanks again for tuning in every now and then. I'm gonna eat my lunch now, and then I'm gonna go and look at my boat afterwards. There's no snow now, but just a week ago it looked quite differently here. But it's been quite warm the last week, so most of the snow has melted. So my boat has been on the water here all winter. It does freeze, but this is what we call a bubble harbor. So there are air bubbles being blown into the water, keeps the water moving around so it doesn't freeze around the boats. I've had my boat here for just a year, and actually I was on a waiting list for almost 5 years before I got a free spot here. So it's a very popular place to have your boat. It's so close to the city. There's no traffic. It's green and nice in the summer, and it really feels like having a cabin, you know, by the water, right in the city center of Oslo. I have to warn you though, it's just after the winter, and the boat looks like a complete mess on the inside. You know what? I'm just gonna start cleaning up right now. So within a week or two, I think she'll be ready, ship shape, with the sails on, ready for the sail season. And I look forward to making some sailing episodes here from Norway. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the episode. As always, I'd like to hear from you, so drop me a message in the comments below. Maybe you've been to the main island here in Oslo before, and I'll see you soon. Ha det bra!